Ladies and gentlemen, huge update on Dragon Ball Legends last night. I'm sure you could tell by how long the maintenance took, how big it was. My maintenance ended, well, I think it was at 5 in the morning for me, so we're not awake for that. Not awake to, hop on and look at it, but we are now. So I'll be going through everything you guys need to know, all the things that'll help make your life easier on Legends, how to get the new CC, some important stuff for our newest Zenkai and what it means for Zenkais going forward, as well as some super important news for PvP when it comes to hackers and the new change they've implemented on how to kind of deal with them, because it's actually pretty big news. But starting out, a lot of this stuff I will say they did mention in the video and stuff in the news, so if you've watched that or read the news, you're probably going to remember a lot of this stuff, but now it's finally here. Tournament power, we have our energy, you can see it. When it gets to 5 out of 5, it stops recharging, so make sure you always keep it below 5 out of 5, so you can keep moving through the tournament of power, which is a nice mode to get CC. It's also not too difficult, honestly. I haven't read like the meta guides, on who's good in tournament of power. I just kind of throw on my strongest team that has, the Z abilities all buff each other. And I've made it up to Z tier, so I don't even have equips on them for tournament of power. Like, it's not. I guess if you want to go for number 1, you're gonna have to be a whale and put in that work. But tournament of power is a nice mode to get some CC. But Hoi Poi coins are back, as you can see here, and better than ever. Better than ever because we got steps with some nice rewards. 200 CC for step 1, 300 for step 4, 500 total. Step 3 and step 6 give you 100 LF Z power. So that's really nice. Also, you can earn, it's not like these are step rewards where you have to complete all 100 items to get the step, as you can see. When you do your exchanges, the special reward will pop up as like a gold capsule. It'll be like, it's gold and then has like the little sparkles on it for shininess. And then you'll get your special reward. So I already got my 200 CC. I should mention there are 14 days left, 2 weeks left for you to do all of this, so make sure you get all your rewards before then. Step information, though, tells you how much of each item you have left to get for that current step. You can see it also tells you when you've completed something. I've gotten all my gold bars for step 1, but I still need some rising souls. So that's what that shows you. Step details shows you all the steps. Step 3, you can see there's the 100. Step 6 is also the same 100. So one thing I should mention is for Goten, they gave us 500 of his LFZ power. So if you were at 6 stars like I am, you would be 100 Z power short from getting into 7, which is annoying. Now you're not. Go complete step 3. Put it on Goten, and now you have a Zenkai Goten, so that's huge. Then you also have another 100, which you can save for later, for if they do this for the next, LF Zenkai, or you can use it. Say you pulled Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta one time, he's at 2 stars. I believe at 2 stars, when you pull him one time, they're 100 Z power away from getting 3 stars. Throw that on if you want that extra, star with that extra Z ability buff for Vegeta, if you want, to do that, or whatever LF you have 2 stars that you may want to put it on. You also get rare medals. Also here, you can read more about it, capsule information and whatnot if you want to, but I'm not going to bother sitting there reading all that for all of you. Menu, you can see the menu's completely different if you've played the game from before today. They've changed up big time. Guild and Story seem to have like swapped locations. Story used to be up where Guild was, and Guild used to be where Story was. Adventure and Training also seem to switch locations, which is kind of annoying because you have that muscle memory where you get used to stuff. And then Co-op and Event have kind of switched places. I didn't want to click in, but yeah. Also, they added Exchange Shop as its own little thing. It used to be one of these like gray bars, and now it's an actual like tab. I will mention though, one nice thing they've added, for the most part the Exchange Shop is the same. But at the bottom, Guild Coins. You no longer have to go into Guild to exchange your Guild Coins. You can just go into the Exchange Shop and exchange them at the bottom. Because before, you have to actually click into Guild, wait for the Guild to load, and then you'd have to go into the Exchange Shop to exchange. And Guild's super boring right now. They need to do something with Guild. It's such a dead mode, honestly. But I'm not going to get into that right now. That's a big thing. We'll jump to the news here because this kind of breaks it down in a simpler way instead of me jumping all around for you guys. But in the update, you can see here, Hoi Poi's back. Battle Gauntlet, I'm going to mention that in a second. We'll get to that. Update to stuff. Rebounds, PvP matches, and adjusted Rising Rush and Taunt for co-op battles. I mentioned that in my other video. You can go check it out. Reduce the processing load times. This is all stuff about PvP. If you want, you can pause the screen, or you can just go into your own game and read all this stuff. But they've added a feature that you can turn it on so your phone vibrates when you have a match, because like sometimes if you're a streamer or something, you may set down your phone while you're reading chat or whatever, waiting for the match, waiting for it to find an opponent. Or if you're just doing other stuff in life while trying to play some Legends, you set your phone down, and then sometimes you may not notice the match has appeared, and then you get like a loss because your phone disconnects you or whatever because it like goes to sleep. Now it'll vibrate, so you can know. So that's nice, I suppose, for people that need that. They tried to adjusted the tap detection between arts cards. So say you use a strike card, and then you accidentally fat finger it, and sometimes you press like in between the two other cards. You're trying to pick a strike, but you accidentally hit that little space in between. Now it won't be as likely that you tap attack. So that's nice. They also adjusted it for special arts, because if you tap the screen while using a special arts card, like you press a green card, and then you tap the screen or something, then it would tap after. That was super annoying because you could drop a combo if it was like a comboable green. So they said they've adjusted that so it's less likely to occur. So those both things are really nice. It's super nice. They removed the ability to use unofficial equipment, which is the equipment hackers, modders, who had the bajillion equipment bonus. Missions, big thing, really nice. You know how if you did story, you'd have to go through one by one clicking, oh, I completed this story, I completed this story. Or if you soul boost someone, you have to go through one by one clicking, accept rewards for each soul boost, reward tier. Not anymore. Now, there'll be just a button at the bottom, get rewards. It'll get all your rewards at one time. You don't have to go through one by one. Super nice. Nice quality of life. They've made it so Z power is now a quicker process to throw on characters. So that's nice. Making just life quicker and easier is always nice. Equipment. They've changed the remove slot thing to a re-upgrade slot tab. And now you can just have it set to try and continue re-upgrading. The re-upgrade will stop when you achieve an ability stronger than the one you started with. So if it's lower, it'll keep re-upgrading for however you have it set, or until you run out of materials, which, as they mentioned in the video and stuff, be careful to not run out of materials when you're doing this. Don't run out of Zenny or whatever. And so yeah, that's really nice. It just helps you re-upgrade equipment faster when you're trying to, get that Z equipment or whatever. It just speeds up the process. Tournament power, I already mentioned that as the energy or whatnot. I guess there's some other little things, but not huge stuff. They've added preset parties to hyperdimensional co-op, so they can also be used in co-op raids. So I don't know, I feel like the co-op changes all the time. I don't really get the point of that. Whatever. Adventures, you can now added auto adventure feature, which automatically selects characters and job requests for every adventure slot at once. It picks it has the adventures rated for importance in the thing. Normally it does the adventure, the ones that you need that have the adventure missions, whatever the current one is, it'll prioritize those above others. So keep that in mind if you want to just have it auto do that for you instead of you going through each one individually or whatnot. They still have the feature where it auto resets, but if you haven't set them yet, then this will help you with that. There's some other improvements which you can see here. The big one is the filter for Z ability. You can sort by Z ability now, so that's super nice. I don't know, this is a lot of technical stuff, but you can sort by Z ability now, which is actually super nice. I haven't used it yet, but that's super nice. They mentioned the guild exchange. They mentioned some other stuff here if you want to read through it. There's a problem with Jiren's illustration, the extreme Jiren, so they fixed that, but I don't know, that's not really important stuff you need to know about. So there's all that. Our new events, which I believe is the events that they mentioned they want to have constantly as a new thing, is under recommended, and it's the Battle Gauntlet, baby. This one's against Jiren. It'll update in I believe here, if we click in, it tells us, yep, on the 15th. So it's about 3 weeks we get to do this, and essentially there's 100 floors, and you get 700 CC for completing all 100 floors against Jiren. When you're here, you can see his battle bonus characters. It just shows you who they are. They're all rival universe yellow units because Jiren's a purple unit in this thing. It shows you Jiren's battle power. When you go into battle here, click battle, and then you want to click start battle. Pick whatever team you want to bring in, of course. Pick start battle. It brings you to the character selection screen as it normally does. I'll just select my 3 units. Here you can see quick battle. Unavailable from floor 70 to floor 100. So up to floor 70, from 1 to 70 you can use this. After, you're going to actually have to fight him. You can click this. It'll do it. You'll click ready. Brings up this little animation here. Then it'll, you'll see they'll clank together. Jiren's dead because my team is just way too powerful for Jiren. And then you're done. You beat it. You can do that for 70 times. It's a little annoying that you have to like click through each time 70 times. I wish you could just click it one time and it would take you to floor 70 like pretty instantly, but it's not the end of the world, you know. It's a nice thing that they'll let you skip, I guess, in general. But it just would be nicer in general if they took you all the way. And you can do that over and over and over again, up to floor 70. After that, you have to fight him. So unless your team, I believe, is weaker than Jiren, which probably isn't the case most of the time unless you just started playing. So yeah, one thing I do want to mention though is if you're newer to the game, you do have to beat main story 286, which is essentially beat part 2 of the main story, because 286 is like the last mission in part 2. So beat part 2 of the story, and then you can do this thing. Just thought I'd mention that for newer players, because if you haven't done that yet, you're gonna be like, why can't I play the Jiren event? Well, now you know. They've also brought back multi-Z power battle, so make sure you're doing that to get your either sparking or extreme Z power. Super Scout battle is back as well. For original series, we have the Cell and then this Kaba one for your adventures. Cell's 7 hour, Kaba's 3 hours. We have this Super Saiyan Kaba. It's, you know, what they do for all the Zenkais, all the new units that get Zenkais that have stories. You can do this, do Kaba's, you know, missions or whatnot. Get I believe it says 3,000. Yep, 3,000 Kaba's Z power there. If we go into missions, there's also missions for Kaba to get more Z power. So, I mean, I don't need any because Kaba shows up in like every summon of mine. He's 14 stars. But you can also get 500 CC just by doing all these missions for Kaba. Really, it's just playing with Kaba and doing that Kaba event. So make sure you're doing that if you want the 500 CC, which is probably most everybody. So, and you also have to get Kaba to rank 5, the extreme, the one I'll show in a second. We have our worldwide thanks campaign missions, super easy missions, just general missions. Kaba Zenkai Awakening missions, which again are like playing with Kaba, doing all the daily missions, stuff like that. Winning with God Destruction Champa Saga, which you're gonna want to use Kaba. That tag is pretty awful. Besides the, you know, Zenkai for Kaba. We have our Battle Gauntlet. Adventure missions also reset, so make sure you're doing your adventures. That's really it for missions. When we go down to characters, God, there's a lot to cover today, as you can probably tell by the length of the video. But character list here, I have it already sorted for, you know, Universe 6 characters. So we have Kaba here. He got a Zenkai. I haven't watched any, you know, showcases of people actually using him, so I haven't actually seen him in battle. But he's a support unit, so you got to keep that in mind. He's not like a main damage dealer out there or anything. He's just here to kind of support your other units. But these are his stats: 262 strike, 280 blast, 177 strike, and 182 blast when he sees 7. You can run him on the Super Saiyan tag, so if you want to run him with, you know, Super Saiyan Bardock, the Zenkai, run him along those boys, you can. Otherwise, I would recommend a Rival Universe or Universe 6 team specifically. That is technically a Rival Universe, but more Universe 6 people, I'll show you in a second why. Gallic Cannon, plus 15% damage inflicted by allies for 10 timer counts upon activation, which means you don't have to hit them, they can vanish and you still get that buff. Unlock Keyform, plus 25% damage inflicted by allies. Again, he's a support unit, so most of his stuff is helping out others on the team. His main restores health by 35, allies health by 10%, and cancels allies attribute downgrades in normal conditions. His Z ability, which is the reason you want to run him more with Universe 6 instead of Rival Universe, is because he gives plus 20% to Element Green or Universe 6 max base health. So that's why. If you just run him with normal Rival Universe, if they're non-Universe 6, like say you're running Jiren or you're running him with the Warriors of Love, then they don't get the buff. So it's better to, you know, get the most out of your buffs. Zenkai ability, Green Rival Universe, so the Green Kefla, Vados, Big Boy Green Jiren. I think that's it for green. Oh, Cocoon Sky, I guess, would also be one. The Extreme Cocoon Sky, I believe. So there's them. Those people would be buffed by Kaba. So I'll probably do Kaba just so I can buff up Kefla. My green Kefla. You know my love for Kefla if you've been around the channel. His unique ability, plus 20% damage inflicted for 20 timer counts when he enters the battlefield. And depending on how many counts he's on the battlefield, he can get up to plus 70% blast damage. 3 timer counts is 40, 6 is 70. It resets when you swap him out, so if you swap him back in, you're going to have to wait against 6 timer counts for that plus 70. Bomb Between Universes. This is something I really like that they changed up. It used to only be that he gives plus 40 strike damage to allied Vegeta, but now it's also Rival Universe, which is big because running him with Vegeta unless it's a Super Saiyan team, isn't really like the best idea, I feel. So it's nice that you can now run it with Rival Universe, which is super nice if you're running him with a green Kefla, because then she gets his buff to max health for being a Universe 6 unit. She gets his Zenkai buff for green Rival Universe, and then when you swap out, she gets another plus 40 to strike damage, and she's a strike unit, and I can't wait to do this combo. So get ready for that. Then plus 20% as well for Allied Vegeta or Universe 6 for blast damage, not Rival, so only Universe 6 people get the blast damage. Realized power reduces damage received by 10% when he enters the battlefield, and inflicts attribute downgrade plus 2 to substitution count for 10 timer counts after enemy attack is over. And then Concealed Might restores his own ki by 30, plus 15% damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, and minus 2 to strike and blast arts cost for 10 timer counts when the enemy switches. So if they do the double swap, it would double all those numbers. Restores ki by 60, you know, plus 30% and minus 4 if they did a quick double swap on you. So that's Kaba. One thing I do want to mention though, because I said there's something important with Zenkai's going forward with Kaba specifically, and that's in the summoning. He has dailies. I've already done my dailies, so that's why you don't see it. That's why it says single. But he has dailies, which means probably all new Zenkais going forward will have dailies, which is huge. Because when they're first introduced, they're around for a lot longer than when they're brought back, which is normally when they would get dailies. Like this Vegeta, he's a returning Zenkai, so that's why he got dailies. But Kaba's a brand new one, and he got dailies. So I believe I saw, if you do the daily every day, as well as the missions for Kaba's Zenkai Z Power, you can get him to Z6 for less than 1000 CC. Yes, it will take more time than, you know, being able to play with Kaba right away, but that's pretty nice. And if they do that for everyone going forward, Zenkais have now just become a whole lot more free-to-play friendly. You can get him, if you get him Z6 in less than 1000, like everyone can basically do that as long as you like actually are playing the game. And then you want to spend that last 1000 on him, get him Z7. Really cheap now, it seems. So that's really huge going forward. That's actually a big happy change I really like. So big shout out to Legends. But now oh, and I already mentioned that. I think I'll jump to the very important PvP news regarding hackers and modders that I think you should all hear. Alright, this is a screenshot of a tweet from D-Free. In his video there, I'm not gonna bother showing it, he plays an opponent, he's beating the brakes off of them, and then they go to activate their mods or hacks, so that they're not going to lose, so that they can win, so that, because people, don't like losing. And instead, normally when people do this in matches, you've had it before, it ends in a draw. It just says draw, the match ends, and it's annoying you get a draw, but now they've made it even more annoying. In it, D-Free gets an auto loss. So does the opponent. Both people get auto losses, but the hacker gets an auto loss, and now you get an auto loss. And as Goresh mentions here in his reply, it's actually horrible. Now people using mods can just troll others and make them lose matches this way. Yes, they could troll, or they could figure, maybe their goal isn't to troll necessarily, but they're playing a match, you're beating the brakes off of them, they're like, alright, I'm going to lose here, like regardless. If I activate my mod, it's going to cost me, the game's going to auto-loss me, but if I keep fighting, I'm going to lose, so I'll just give them a loss too. So you're fighting someone, they'll just give you a loss if they're going to lose now. That's stupid. That's beyond stupid. That's so much worse than the draw. Like, I get it's to punish the hacker by giving them a loss, but now they're going to lose anyway most of the time when they activate these things. So now they're just giving you a loss too. You're losing RP because they were going to lose. And that's far worse in my opinion. And if you're thinking this is just, oh, maybe it's some weird thing that happened with D-Free, D-Truth, or D-Truth, I almost said D-Truth. D-Truth just tweeted out as well. Just ran into it as well. Someone did it against him as well. So I myself haven't had this happen, but if you guys have, let me know in the comments down below. It seems this is the new thing when you run into people that mod or hack mid-game. Instead of the draws, it's now losses, which is far stupider. But I thought you should know that because that's something they're gonna have to fix. That's abysmal. That's just garbage. So, yep, that's really it for important stuff. A long video here, like 20 minutes as I can see here. So, that's going to do it, though. Keep it short here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell if you want notifications for every time I post a video. Hope you all are staying happy and healthy, having the best of days out there, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.